This is Ebony Man 2K, the content creator of Everybody Loves Soncerae. I would like to thank you for sharing your time with me today. Shout out to all the chat room members and listeners that may be listening in your car, at home watching this on television, working out, or just taking a break at work. Your time is greatly appreciated. I also welcome all visitors. I'm always in the chat room providing commentary on videos, so when you come in, subscribe, and then introduce yourself in the chat. This presentation is supported by a Cash App promotion. If you do not have Cash App, click on my referral link in the description box and comment section. Copy and paste the referral code after the Cash App download, and you and I will receive $5 after you start making transactions. If you already have Cash App, feel free to make a donation at $EBMN2K. That's $EBMN2K. If you have other methods of payment like Venmo and PayPal, send me an email at ebonyman2k@gmail.com and I will forward you my information. Again, I appreciate your time. This is ebonyman2k and I'm out. Okay, we're going to start with the housing update first. For those of you who are using mobile phones, you're going to have to get to a place where you can view your screen on full view because this would be an audio and video presentation. Now, it has been confirmed by property management that Ray's old home is now being rented by a new renter. As you can see on the bottom right of the screen, that the house was newly rented on January 24th, 2020. Also, you can see where Ray previously rented it out on April 25th, 2019. So she didn't even make it a year. Apparently, she got kicked out for abusing government assistance by being on YouTube claiming she bought a Tesla and bragging about making six figures driving Uber. I ran across some additional photos of this home, and what's so troubling to me is how Ray really didn't take advantage of such a nice home and its amenities. Look at your screen, and I want you to view these photos with some music in the background so that we can properly reminisce on the love we had. After having to leave her nice $500,000 home, people are wondering where Soncerae is now. Well, she did post on her channel a P.O. box in Tracy, California as a place to receive free gifts. Also, I noticed in her last Lexus video that her navigation system had her cruising the streets of nearby Livermore. So it's pretty safe to say that Ray is more than likely hotel hopping in NorCal, east of the Bay Area. Again, this is Ebony Man 2K. Soncerae has deleted all of her Lexus videos after I exposed her for driving Uber Fleet, which is a glorified taxi service. According to Ridester.com, there are only two roles in this operation. One is owner, fleet manager, and the other is driver. In her deleted live, Ray tries to imply that she is an owner fleet manager. However, we can ascertain that with Ray's slow mental capacity, her driving history, and habit of playing on YouTube in parking lots during breaks, that she is clearly a driver. Uber Fleet is like a traditional taxi service in that there is more than one driver and usually more than one vehicle to service passengers. A fleet manager functions as a mini taxi cab company. Let's say you own a few cars. You can rent those cars to Uber drivers. You can charge them a daily or weekly rental fee and allow them to drive in your vehicle as opposed to their own. On the other hand, if you are a driver that doesn't own a car, Uber Fleet is a great way to gain access to a vehicle. You can rent an inexpensive car that qualifies you to drive for Uber X, or an expensive black car that qualifies you to drive for Uber Black. Let's listen to Soncerae try to mumble her way out of the explanation. But with the knowledge we have now, we can peep her game.
Right. Anyway, that's just a story that happened to me today. That's what I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, and this is why I don't have time to sit down and do YouTube videos anymore. And a lot of people are wondering why I don't post as much as I used to, or I don't post the quality content that I used to. Is because I literally don't have time because I have so many other businesses that I'm dealing with. So somebody came into my community tab, was like, yo, you don't own a Lexus. You do Uber Black. That's the reason why you have a Lexus. Okay, well, let me explain something to you. All right, number one, I don't do Uber Black. Okay, one thing I can do in this Lexus ES is Uber Black, but that's not what I do. If I do decide to drive Uber just to get some extra cash, it will never be a full-time gig. Driving rideshare is not a full-time gig. I don't know how drivers do it. I really don't get it. Especially not if you are part of some type of program. Like, say, for instance, you're part of a Uber Fare program where you get a car lease from them. You have to pay, I think, $14 a week for this vehicle, right? You get the vehicle registered. They do maintenance for you. Everything is there for you. Everything. All you got to do is pay $214 a week, right? But the problem is how much money you make when you do go do the ride shares. You don't make as much money as you would if you was using your own damn vehicle. Okay, so I don't know how any person would be doing ride share programs and actually be making decent money enough for them to be doing it full time. They'll be doing it full time because they have no choice, not because it's making them all this money. Because you have to literally drive yourself to death in order to generate some type of income if you want a rideshare program leasing a vehicle from them. Because the money that you make is damn near sliced in half when you are using the rideshare cars that they provide. Because I see Uber pushing that. Uber will push that. I think I seen that, like, I don't know, a couple of months back where they was encouraging everybody to start leasing fare vehicles from them. Okay? Now, one thing that Uber ain't never going to do is lease you a goddamn Lexus. Uber does not lease luxury cars from my knowledge. Not in the fucking state of California. Uber is not, I don't care if you do Uber Black or not, because Uber Black is about professional drivers. But one thing Uber is not fit to do is lease you a luxury damn vehicle. They will lease you a Nissan, a little Corolla, something, little small vehicles like that. I mean, you could put the Fare app on your phone and get a car from Fare and not do their rideshare program with Uber, and you might get your hands on a luxury vehicle. But the second you let Fare know that you are going to do rideshare, your options change. Now you can only get like maybe a Nissan Sentra or a Nissan Elantra or Altima, or maybe you can get you like a Corolla or Toyota Camry. Maybe you can get you like a little Prius or something. But they are not about to sit up here and give you a Lexus, BMW, Mercedes Benz simply because you want to drive Uber Black. The way that Uber Black operates, it operates in two ways. All right, Uber Black, you have to be working for a transportation company yourself, meaning you either have to own one yourself or you have to be working with one that provides vehicles for you. All right? Uber does not lease luxury vehicles. Okay? So anyone who may be thinking that the reason why I'm driving a Lexus is because Uber Black gave it to me, sorry, you are misinformed. I do not drive Uber Black. Now, if I did decide to drive this, I could. I could drive this Lexus ES and do Uber Black. But Uber is very selective about who they classify as a Uber Black driver. You would literally have to be a business owner yourself. They don't just allow just any random person that has a luxury car to do Uber Black. What they do is allow people who have luxury cars to do Uber Comfort. Uber Comfort is very different. Uber Comfort is a whole nother thing. That's just for regular people who might have like a Tesla or a BMW or a Benz or something like that. Now, this is just in the state of California, and from what I have observed dealing with this. Okay? Now, to iron out this confusion some more, people that may be confused and think I drive Uber, all right, or any rideshare. Here's what you need to understand. What I do is Uber Fleet. Look up Uber Fleet. That's what people who own transportation companies use, or Uber Black for other drivers. It means we have employed other drivers. We own our own businesses. Okay? Knock that out the way. So now that we have made it clear about my vehicles, more than one vehicle, I drive so many different vehicles because I'm using them for my business. I'm generating income, renting them out to other drivers. I might drive one myself if I, think it's nice, whatever. But I do it for my business. All right? Now, I haven't driven a lot of Uber in this Lexus. Like, no. I might do that in a Altima or something, but not in this. Like, no. I just can't with this. I don't feel that comfortable with this. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this, to me, the way that this is, if I was just trying to do Uber Comfort, not a lot of people choose Uber Comfort. Like, I think, like, people use regular Uber X. Not a lot of people using Uber Comfort. I mean, people use it like if they want to go far, maybe, they want to upscale ride and stuff, and they want to go to the airport or something like that. I think a wealthy person might use Uber Comfort, but I would make more money driving a Nissan Altima 2018 because regular people just want Uber X. So that's what I would do if I was, deciding to drive Uber and wanting to use that as a source of income. And even if I did want to use that as a source of income and that be my source of income, I would not do it full time. It would be something that I would do 4 hours a day because I want to spend as much time with my son as possible. Remember, I used to drive Uber. I used to drive Uber all the time. But what I would do is only drive it for 4 hours in the morning time. So I would still have that same pattern to where I would be driving like 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. All right, so that clears it up. The whole Lexus Lexus situation. For all the haters out there, yes, I drive a Lexus. Yes, I drive the Tesla. Yes, I will drive anything that's gonna make me some money. I will drive a Corolla. I will drive a damn hatchback. I don't care what it is, as long as it makes me some money. I'll drive, and even if it's not qualified for me to drive Uber, I'll turn around and do like DoorDash or something. Every move I make is about making some bread, because I'm trying to build a legacy for my son. I don't have time to sit still and not make any money. You understand? I don't do that. I don't have time for that. Even with me doing this live stream, of course, I'm going to get my advertising dollars out of it. So everything that I do, every move that I make has something to do with me generating income, period. Every single video that you see on my channel is generating me some income 9 times out of 10. Or it's not up. I got over 1,000 videos. So my YouTube check is like monthly. And that's what I work on every day. Okay, so we've established what's going on with that. All right, so Slick Whips, what's up? Hey, can we link up? My daughter has autism and I want her to have a channel. Oh, email me at soncerae@gmail.com. Hey, Doris, what's up? Hey, T.I.s, what's up? Oh, T.I.s, if you're still listening to the live stream, I have some pictures of you that I want you to have that I got from the photographer. So I'm going to hit you up on Facebook. Lou Tom, I went in Mercedes Uber late model. Yeah, you can take that Mercedes and go do Uber Comfort. As long as your Mercedes is like I want to say 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, of course, 2020. See, when it starts to get that 18, 19, 20, you could be making a hell of a lot more. But you have to be careful, because your rides will start being few and far and in between, because not everybody is choosing Uber Comfort. Because that's the wealthier part of Uber. They're using Uber X or Uber Pool. And if you drive at certain times, usually if you drive in the morning, people trying to go to work or they trying to go to the airport. At least that's how it is in California. So for me, it's like the only time I'm hopping up in my car to drive anywhere is early in the goddamn morning. So when you see me in my Lexus and I'm doing live streams, it ain't because I'm driving Uber. It might be because I'm picking up my daughter from work. Okay, and I was very hesitant on showing that I was driving this, because I knew the second I showed my car, hate was going to come out of somewhere. I knew it, because that's how it operates. That's why I've been keeping so much of my life under wraps and not telling y'all nothing. I'm in tight-lipped, if you haven't noticed, because anytime people see me excel and be the woman that I've always tried to be, people hate that. They don't like that. It's almost like they feel like they don't have the same hours in the day that I do to go out there and get whatever it is that they want. They try to find loopholes and everything that I'm saying. So yeah, I'm out here making money moves, Miss Thang. Miss Thang. I'm out here making money moves. So anyway, that's one of the rumors that I heard I saw on my channel yesterday. If you heard it.
Okay, so there's a lot to untangle here, so let me break this down slowly. First, Ray is purposely being ambiguous with words. On one hand, she says she doesn't do Uber, but on the other hand, she says she does Uber Fleet. Now, it's my understanding that Uber Fleet is a premium service under the program of Uber. So technically, she still does Uber, but only in a different form. More importantly, what in the hell does Ray mean that she does Uber Fleet? I just told you there are 2 defined roles in Uber Fleet: an owner/manager and a driver. There is no supercalifragilisticexpialidocious position. You're either driving or you're managing. And you and I both know Ray ain't owning or managing a damn thing. She is doing what she has always been doing, and that's driving. I think the owner of the Uber Fleet made her get off YouTube while working. Or she is just embarrassed for being exposed as a glorified taxi driver by me. Now let's get an update on Soncerae's daughter, Domo. Last fall, Soncerae tried to pull a fast one on us. She uploaded a video showing what was supposed to be Damo's college tour on the campus of UC Berkeley. It was an odd video to say the least, because both seemed to be randomly wandering around an empty parking lot of a nearby building. Well, here's the building name: University of California, Berkeley, Lawrence Hall of Science. When I looked the name up, it was clear that they were not on the campus of UC Berkeley. This particular building is at another location and serves as a public science center sponsored by UC Berkeley that offers exhibits and after-school resources to children. So it's pretty safe to say that if Domo can't even drive to the right college, more than likely she ain't in it. Soncerae routinely speaks about picking her up at a minimum wage job, and I have not heard about Domo attending a school at all. There's a photo going around that shows where Domo looks pregnant. This seems odd because Ray has denied her daughter's pregnancy multiple times and claims that her visit to Planned Parenthood was out of curiosity and that she was a virgin. Let's listen to Domo and Ray's explanation.
Hey guys, it is Soncerae here. Welcome to the God Queen Live. I appreciate you if you are listening to me on Spreaker. You can also listen to me on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and what else? iTunes? No, that's Apple Podcasts. Spotify, that's iTunes, but it's called Apple Music. It's called Apple Podcast.
Ew, that's horrible.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Google Podcasts. I said that already, I think.
Yes, you did.
Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio. That's what I was missing. iHeartRadio. So I'm all over those places. You can find my podcast anywhere. Thank you for listening to me on all of those platforms. If you're listening to me on YouTube, I appreciate you subscribing to the God Queen Live podcast channel. Of course, it's always hate, all in the comment section, all in the user ratings. But apparently, it must be entertaining for you guys, or you wouldn't be here. So, thumbs up to the engagement. We love the engagement. Thank you so much.
Smash that like button.
Smash that dislike button. Smash some button.
Right.
So we can know that you are definitely listening. So it doesn't matter whether you like it or dislike it. You're still engaging. You're still listening. So that's all that matters to me.
Right.
So anyway, I have my daughter Dominique here.
What's up?
She is how old?
I am 18, about to turn 19.
What? Boom!
Yeah.
But, I know, right? And
Getting old.
you're getting old. You're getting old. Yeah, I'm getting old.
We're all getting old. That's just how time works.
Yeah, we're getting old, and, there's an age gap, a large age gap between her and my son, Justice. Justice is 1 year old. How do you feel about that age gap?
I mean, personally, I don't care that much. Because, at the end of the day, I still love him with all my heart. Preferably, though, I wish he was a little bit closer to my age, but that's just the preference. I can't control that. I can't control whatever happens between you and the way you interact with other people, so I can't, I'm down for whatever. I don't care.
I mean, you always ask for a brother. You asked for a brother when you was really, really young.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be your dad that actually had children first. I thought he was going to get married and have children first.
I thought I was just going to be the only one. So
Yeah,
we're all surprised.
We're all surprised.
We're
I
all
thought,
shook.
yeah, I thought that was going to be it. Even when, I decided to start dating priests, I didn't think we were going to have children this fast. I thought it was going to take some time. I thought we were going to need a fertility doctor because it had been so long and I had tried so many times and it just did not work.
Right.
Like we were talking about the other day, we were talking about God, remember? And I was saying how I feel like God was the reason why Justice is here, and you was talking about how you can't stand what people say.
I can't. I'm sorry. No disrespect to Christians and people who are, into religion heavily. I don't mind. Do your thing. Whatever makes you feel better about living this crazy thing that we call life, cool. I'm here for it. But the thing that bothers me is a lot of people, tend to go straight. Like, whenever a miracle happens, people are like, oh, we should thank God and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, God also sends the people that do stuff like that for you. So let's say somebody's getting a surgery and there's a 90% chance you may die during the surgery, but you take the chance anyway and you end up staying alive. I feel like that's more because doctors are naturally trained to make sure that you're alive. You know what I mean? I don't feel like it's just all God's doing. I feel like God just created a whole bunch of people, and some of those people just so happen to be helpful. Mm-hmm.
That's true. Some of those people are helpful.
Yeah.
But then I explained to her how the same scenario could be, okay, so someone could be in a car accident and they need a specific surgeon, and that surgeon is the only surgeon that could be able to perform that surgery. And when this patient comes into the hospital after this accident, that surgeon could be working on somebody else's body, or it could be out to lunch, or it could be out of town or on vacation, and then the patient that came in and needed that surgeon dies. Okay? But if that surgeon was there, the reason why people consider that a miracle is because it was a possibility that the surgeon couldn't have been there. So for the surgeon to actually be there and be available, a lot of people who have belief in a higher power believe that is how things were supposed to be orchestrated, and that was the destiny of that. That's the type of destiny. And so for me, when I talk about justice, I use justice as an example. Like, I had tried so many times to have sex. To give birth. I've had sex, just like everybody else. I've had miscarriages that I didn't necessarily process well. So when I got pregnant with Justice, I was afraid from the beginning that I was going to miscarry. And I've had medical abortions that I didn't necessarily want. And then I've had abortions that I needed to have just to save my own life. So for my son to finally come at this weird time, and even though it wasn't perfect, I had to accept that, because to me it was like a gift from God after all of the stuff that I had been through. So it could go either way for a non-believer or a believer as far as events that happen.
Right. And for those of you, to clarify, I'm not Christian.
Yeah, Dominique's not Christian.
I'm open to whatever. Like I said, whatever makes you feel better about living your life, I'm here for. I'm not going to judge you for believing in God or Jesus or Buddha or, Zeus. I don't care.
Zeus. She used to believe in Zeus.
Yeah, I used
Hercules.
No, I used to believe in all, Greek goddesses. I used to believe in Greek mythology.
I did, but listen, when Dominique was trying to figure out what belief system she wanted, right, I allowed her to explore. Right. So she went through the process of just Hercules and Zeus and all of them was her shit, Then there was a time where she was reading witchcraft books, and I remember her dad was like, "If you don't stop letting her read,"
it was interesting, I never practiced witchcraft. I still like to read it, every now and then, just because it's interesting. And let me clarify what witchcraft is.
Exactly.
Witchcraft is basically a form of Christianity, where instead of believing in this magical dude in the sky, you believe in nature. You believe that, nature is kind of like a person, like a soul, you know what I mean? Okay. And that soul is able to do whatever, you know what I mean?
Well, where do they get the negative connotation on top of witchcraft?
Christianity. Because Christianity was like, oh, you don't believe in, and then the Salem witch trials.
They just named it that.
Yes. Because technically Christianity and witchcraft are part of this one thing called paganism.
Right.
It's just this complicated, Remember
we were talking about paganism that one time, a couple of days ago, we were talking about paganism, and you was talking about something about Christmas. I don't know what we were talking about.
I don't remember that.
We were talking about paganism some type of way, because you was saying Christians didn't believe in something.
Yeah, Christians.
We was talking about when is Jesus' birthday, and it's not on Christmas.
Yeah, because
it was something we were talking about.
Because I read somewhere, I don't remember where I read this, but Jesus wasn't actually born on Christmas or sometime in the winter. I don't really know. Christmas. He was actually born during the spring and summer,
near Easter.
Yeah, near Easter. That's what I was told.
Yeah, that's what I was told. So I don't understand why.
I know that there's a reason behind why Christmas is on the 25th, and it has to do with the winter solstice or something like that. But to me, I try not to dig too deep into Christianity, because then when I dig too deep into Christianity, I start getting these like nightmares about demons. And honestly, I feel like when I'm not praying, right, let's say, I have my metaphysical beliefs, I have this thing that they call New Age belief. Right. I feel like a lot of the people in my life that are coming into my life, whether they are, I did something to them or I didn't do something to them, sometimes it feels like they're demons that's being sent to me. Like all of the people that got so much hate, that hate me so much, I look at them as if they're demons. Right now, I don't know if that's a good thing to do, even though I'm not Christian, to have a belief in demons. I mean, because when I was talking about negative energy all the time, I'm talking about those demonic ass people who always got something negative to say, right? But I mean, when I would pray and I'd be Christian, I get demons while I'm asleep, and that I don't pray and I'm not Christian, I get demons while I'm awake. I mean, either way, it's like I'm experiencing demons. So how is that relative to perspective of reality? Is it the only reason why I'm even seeing these people and what they're doing as negative? Is it because my perspective is negative? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Or is it really that they're just negative people? Like,
I mean, me personally, I just believe that they are negative people. But that's just me. I'm not.
You believe they're negative people?
I just believe that they're negative people that don't have anything better to do with their time.
So do you think they're demonic? No.
I believe that people in general have a good and bad side.
Okay.
That's just how we're made. We're made to have two sides, and conflicting with those two sides create whatever emotions that we have. That's what I believe.
So
I wouldn't necessarily call it demonic, but I would say it's a bad side of people.
So what do you think brings out the bad side of people on social media so often? Because people bring out their bad side more often there than they actually do in real life.
Right.
So is it that they are using social media as a form of balance to empty out all of the negativity? Or is it genuinely that most people are negative?
No, I wouldn't say most people are negative. I would say, most people go through negative things and they can choose what they want to do with whatever negative emotions they feel. Some people, use the idea of being anonymous on the internet to vent,
right? To
let out their frustrations. Some people, they don't. They just kind of live with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I believe with most people that you're dealing with, they're just people that have been through a lot of shit, and the only way they could kind of let go in a way of all of their frustrations in life is to just use, the internet. Because even though the internet is a very easy tool to use in order for you to find people, it's also very easy for you to cover yourself up, if that makes sense.
Because knowledge is so liquid. It's so flexible. It's like when you put something on social media, regardless of what it is, the truth can be twisted and turned into whatever perspective somebody else wants it to be, and it will always be certain things out there that will, that you can apply to that. Like, say, for instance, what's a good example? Like, how rumors spread about people. You can hear something about someone.
Right.
And people will bring a whole bunch of proof and receipts to prove that is the truth. And
right.
In actuality, it probably isn't.
Right. Because you have things like Photoshop.
You got people using statistics for stuff. You got, another thing is energy. Like, once one person believes something and then they pass that information on, whether the information is true or not, once they get enough people to believe that information, it just flies off the handle. It goes viral. It's like everybody's believing this negative or wrong thing. It doesn't mean it's accurate. And we've seen that happen, in media.
With a whole bunch of people.
Well, with a whole bunch of people where it's like, oh, that thing wasn't even true, but everybody believed it.
Right.
So, I see that happen all the time. And that has nothing to do with perception of reality.
I believe.
For each individual person. Like, why do people believe so easily into certain things that could not be true?
I don't know.
Yeah,
see, that's I grew up not really being that person. I grew up where social media was more of just a form of entertainment. I don't view social media as a way to, like, vent and, a way to get all of my information. I just find it a thing that's entertaining. I can look through there, find some very useful information sometimes, and,
do you believe that the reason why you look at social media as a form of entertainment is because of how me and your dad introduced you to social media? Or is it how other people have taught you about social media? Because I remember me and your dad was very hesitant about allowing you on social media.
Right.
So do you think it was he and I, or other people's influence?
I believe it's a little bit of both. Since I've been on social media, I've seen a lot of people get dragged. Some of it I agree with, because some of those people are just actual douchebags. And most of it I don't, because it's stupid to me. It just sounds stupid. I don't know anything that goes on in their personal life. But I just know, for some reason, I can tell when something just sounds dumb. But anyway, I think it's just a little bit of both. I've seen how people have reacted to you on social media. I've seen how people reacted to other celebrities on social media. And, I've seen friends do stupid stuff on social media. So I would say it's a combination of both.
It's a combination of both of you experiencing it and me and your dad telling you about social media. Because I never use social media as a place for personal use. I always use it as business all the time. And then it wasn't until I started dating Priest and Justice was born that I started to be a little bit more, like, transparent about me as a person, because I wanted people to see what I was going through.
Right.
I think I told a lot of stories. Like, I told a lot of stories. You and I, we were on my channel plenty of times on YouTube, plenty of times. But I don't think I used it as a place to where I have to get a whole bunch of likes and views and subscribers. That never was my goal on social media. I kind of ended up like that by accident.
Right.
Because I wasn't thinking that way. I wasn't concerned about that. I was just enjoying what I was doing. Right. Why you close up? I thought you had like a list.
Oh, I did. Okay.
Dominique has some things that she would like to discuss in this podcast. I don't know. We kind of veered off for a second talking about some other stuff because I was asking a few questions I was interested in. But Dominique has some things that she would like to discuss. This is Dominique's podcast. She's taking over. She in control. She got this.
I do. I got this. I got this in the bag. So, first thing on our list. Technically not the first thing. It's actually the third thing because I moved this. It's a lot going on. So, something was recently brought to my attention. A lot of people have noticed the scars that are on my arm. And
okay, wait, let's rewind. So, on New Year's Eve, when Dominique was still living in Georgia, and I had moved to California, and was trying to start my life over here, she was still in Georgia trying to finish high school. Yes. I did not want her to move to California until she finished high school. Yes. Okay? Yes. So she came for New Year's Eve to visit, and we sat down and did a couple of videos together. And in one of the videos, she had, like, some scars on her arm. Right. So somebody came into my comment section and said that she saw the scars on Dominique's arm, and apparently those scars means that Dominique is depressed. Right. She was trying to imply that Dominique might be cutting or something like that.
And no,
that's not what happened at all.
That's not what happened at all. So when I was in Georgia, I used to work at this place called Moe's Southwest Grill. If you are not familiar with Moe's Southwest Grill, it is a place, it's kind of like Chipotle, but with more options and chips. Wait, no, Chipotle has chips too. But
it's more options. It's kind of better than Chipotle.
It's way better than Chipotle. But what I would do, I would sometimes cook the food, and sometimes I would fry the chips. There have been instances where, something would fall into the oil, and it would just get on my hands and stuff. Well, the one that commenter was specifically talking about was the one where I worked at Arby's, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I dropped, like, a mozzarella stick in the fryer.
Wait a minute. By then you was working at Arby's when you came for New Year's?
No.
You wasn't working for Arby's yet.
Oh, wait. So what scar is she talking about?
She's talking about this one.
This one is from Arby's.
Well, you got more than one.
Right.
You kept getting them. That's
Yeah.
all I know. You kept getting them. But you had a really, really bad one on your arm.
Yeah.
It was so bad, and you got it from working at Moe's.
At Moe's, right.
And you had burnt it.
I burnt it on the grill, actually.
You burnt it on the grill.
I was cooking, yeah.
So, you were cooking. That's what I said to her. You were cooking.
Yeah,
I don't know what you were cooking. Do you remember?
No, I don't, actually.
She had more than one burn.
I think it was actually me cleaning the grill, because that was the first time I actually learned how to clean.
The girl was teaching you.
Yeah.
That's what you were saying to me. This girl was teaching you
how to, yeah, she was, because
I didn't know whether you cleaned it and cooked, though. I thought you just...
No, I cleaned and cooked.
Okay.
I did a whole bunch of stuff.
I mean cleaned the grill and then cooked on the grill.
No,
I thought you cleaned the grill first.
No.
And then cooked on the grill and then burnt yourself.
No, okay.
So you just burnt it on when you cleaned the grill.
Yeah, because I don't come in during opening. I never really came in during opening.
Okay. What does that have to do with cleaning and
because
cooking the grill?
Usually the first thing you do when you open is you clean everything to make
Okay.
sure people come in and it's spotless and it doesn't look like shit.
Okay.
And then the first thing that we do when we close is clean the grill.
Okay.
So, yeah. It's a cycle. So, yeah, I'm not depressed. I don't cut. I think that's painful. I kind of see why people do it, but at the same time I don't. Like, I don't see why I would do that.
That seems to hurt myself. No. I just don't think that's,
Yeah.
But I do want to say that during that time when Dominique did come for New Year's Eve, she was depressed over certain things.
Yeah, it was.
Like, being distant from me, us being distant from each other was difficult.
Right.
It was very hurtful for me, number one, because she's always been the closest person to me. So for her to be that far away from me, it was just very hurtful for us to be separated in the way that we had to be separated. Because we could have avoided that altogether.
Okay.
Like, because the plan was always to move to California. We just wanted to wait until after Dominique graduated for us to do that.
Right. So
I had been talking about California for a couple of years, and when I met my son's father, I was talking to him about California as well. Because I knew I wanted to come here and do, more IT work. Oh, can you please tell these people I do IT work, please?
Oh.
Because for some reason...
she does IT work.
For some reason, people keep thinking I'm just so dumb. And
No.
I'm not into computer engineering.
Yeah,
and I'm not into software engineering.
Didn't you have a whole, channel where you were, building
Yes!
computers at some point?
Like, I started the channel, and then some dude started a rumor that I wasn't in IT. Dominique is here to tell you, yes, I'm
The
in
computer
IT.
that she has now to do everything, she built that by herself. She took my broken computer at the time and just, rebuilt it, put new stuff in it, and, just did it. She just did it herself.
I don't know why people keep thinking that that's some type of lie. That is true. Dominique has been to work with me and everything. So,
I
don't know why that's... I don't know. So, anyway, back to what
Okay.
where was we at?
So, you were talking about Priest.
Oh, yeah. So we were supposed to move to California, and we couldn't because I wanted Dominique to finish school first.
Right.
So when I got pregnant with Justice and I was in the hotel, Dominique was living with her father. I didn't just abandon her with just some random strange person on the street. She was living with her dad where she was supposed to be. She was either going to be both of us, me or him. No, I wasn't going to leave my daughter to some strange place. So instead of me bringing her and stopping her in the middle of the school year, I just went ahead and left without her and started my life. So when she got here, she could have a place to, spend the rest of her life, or until she, whatever. Right. So we were separated from each other for an extended amount of time, and it was the longest we had ever been separated from each other. We never had been separated from each other that long, and I think it was a little over a year.
Right. Yeah.
A little over a year, and that was the first time we ever had that kind of distance. And it was sad because she didn't get to meet her brother for a long time. No. She wasn't really around during my entire pregnancy. She didn't really get to see me, fully pregnant. And it was funny because when she first moved here to California with us now, she was treating me like I was pregnant because the last time she saw me, I was pregnant. And I was looking at her like, I'm not pregnant no more. I'm not pregnant. You don't have to treat me like this anymore. So, it was just, I don't know. I think what was stressing us both out, and I was just so depressed, is because we had such a huge, gap between us. And it just was unfair how it had to happen so suddenly like that. Because of somebody else's inadvertent malfeasance, my daughter was sitting here hurting because she couldn't have her mother. And this all boils down to, I do want to say to women who have children already, you have to be very, very careful about the guys that you choose to have in your children's life. Because it was very hurtful for Dominique. Well, I remember when I first told her that Priest and I had broken up. She was pissed, but the sadness on her face is what I saw first. Yeah. When I said to her that her Priest and I was breaking up, I had this look on her face, like, I don't know, she was just like devastated almost. She was just like hurt, and then suddenly anger just took over her whole body. And she's just like, the fuck, like, yeah, so I was angry. Yeah, she was very angry, and I don't usually introduce Dominique to guys unless I'm taking him serious. Right. Like, I don't do that. And so me and her made a video about this, and someone took her and I talking about this and turned it into something negative. And as if me and her having a conversation with each other about the guys that I dated, I would teach my daughter how to be promiscuous with other men. So tell people what.
Such a segue. Segues. So, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. But so when you moved to California, I did watch this video of this woman who was basically taking apart, quote unquote, the video, and was like, oh yeah, her daughter's, being taught how to be promiscuous and how to date all these other men. This lady actually thought that I dated and, had sex with all of the people that you were dating. And in my mind, I was like, this is...
What do you mean dumbest... she had... Wait a minute, what?
I don't know. I don't remember what this lady was specifically talking about. But the one thing that caught me way off guard was she was like, oh, yeah, her daughter also participated in the romantic relations of all of her mother's ex-boyfriends. I was like, ew, no.
Where would she get that?
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Why would she say something like that?
But
was this Bomb Cherry?
No, it wasn't Bomb Cherry, surprisingly. But that brings me to my next point, because she was talking about parenting and things like that. Now, there is no specific way to parent. It just all depends on how the parent was raised and, what that parent's beliefs are. I do not think that my parents were bad parents. I believe that it could have been way worse. And there were some things that, I didn't like. There were some things that, my parents would do and I wouldn't like. But at the end of the day, I still appreciate them for being my parents. I appreciate them for raising me the way that they did. Because I wouldn't be in a car with you talking about, how you parent. I would be homeless somewhere. Or we could have hated each other. You know what I mean? Or, something could have happened and I would have died or something. You know what I mean? So I'm very grateful. So no matter what other people say about you or my father or whoever, you two will always be not priests.
Wait. What do you mean? Okay, so listen. Wait. We will not abandon you
whenever I need something.
Yes.
No matter how old I am.
Let me just say this.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. What? I didn't mean to be an asshole for saying it, but I'm sorry.
No, it's truthful. But listen. Listen, my daughter appreciates the absolute fuck out of her dad.
Yes, I do.
After seeing Priest not be there for justice. Okay? I tell people all the time, my daughter has an amazing father.
Yes.
He is a great dad. He has his moments just like every other person.
Every other person.
Right? And it's the same thing with me. I need for people to understand something. All right? First of all, Dominique, I'm going to need for you to be honest about what I teach you as far as dating and guys.
Oh, yeah. All the stuff that you told me about your exes and stuff like that is for the sole purpose of teaching me not to date those people.
Exactly.
You have taught me to not date that kind of person.
Over and over
again. Mind you, I've only dated 3 people out of the 18, 19 years I've been alive.
And just dated. Not sexual.
Well, technically, 2 of them were just me talking.
Okay.
And then one of them was actually serious. That was my first boyfriend.
Yeah. Marcus. They know who Marcus is. Because
yeah, that's
Marcus
right.
was, Marcus, we did the live stream with Marcus and
Right.
Dory
Yeah.
that I had to delete because
Sorry.
we were at the Chick-fil-A. I deleted the live stream, but Marcus was
the guy that was
just recently. We did a video about the Popeyes, the Chicken Wars.
Yeah.
And inside of that video, Marcus, who was Dominique's ex, was in there talking. But they're still friends. They talk
cool.
every day. They're like,
we're still super cool.
I don't know. They're just like besties almost. It's so strange.
It's weird.
But they were friends before they got in a relationship. So I really teach her that, you know, to be friends first. Me and her dad was friends first.
Right.
And then we got in a relationship.
Right.
So
you two still communicate.
yeah, me and her father have a good friendship. Like, we still talk. I mean, sometimes I want to give him the silent treatment.
I mean,
sometimes,
that's everybody.
But that's everybody. And sometimes he want to give me the silent treatment because, you know, that's just how people are. Like, sometimes we get sick of each other.
Sometimes I want to give Marcus the silent treatment.
Exactly.
Give me the silent treatment.
But he's my family. He's my family. I can't. I don't see my daughter's father as my ex.
Right.
I see him as my family.
Right. Same with Marcus.
And the same thing with Marcus. I don't see Marcus as Dominique's ex. I see him as a family member.
Right.
So with Priest, had he continued to be in Justice's life or even introduce himself, I would have looked at Priest as my family. Had he treated me and Justice as if we were family. He didn't treat us that way. No. So I don't like him because of that.
Well, that's a complete...
The way that went...
The way that went was just all the way...
It went all the way wrong. Because I was his friend first too. It wasn't like we jumped into a relationship like he keep trying to depict it as. We were friends first. We hung out first. So it wasn't like, oh, he hit on the first night or we rushed into this relationship. We had more than enough conversations about being inside a relationship. So anyway, I do want to make it clear that I do not go around teaching my daughter how to be promiscuous.
Yeah, no.
The way that people try to make it seem like I'm promiscuous.
19-year-old virgin in the house.
Yeah, boop, Dominique is still a virgin. Still a virgin. And it took her a long... If you could see this dance she's doing. It's because I taught her how to value being a virgin. I want her to be a virgin because I know that guys will do anything to get her virginity. Like, they will do anything just to get some ass. And that's all I've been telling them.
Donating anything until...
That is all I keep telling her, y'all. Over and over and over again. And so the people that's going around here that's saying I'm a bad parent to my kids...
And saying that I'm pregnant for whatever.
Yeah, like somebody spread this horrible rumor about her being pregnant.
Which is not true.
Which is not true. She was never pregnant, never will be. You
yes.
You can put on the air conditioning. I mean, I don't know why.
I need to take off this jacket anyway.
Like, it's windy outside. I just didn't want the that noise.
Right. I know.
Anyway, so
but yeah, that's
parents. We're great parents to Dominique. And when people called CPS to take her was one of the worst things that y'all could have did.
Yeah, that was pretty.
I don't know. Sorry, yesterday was hectic. I'll text you.
Oh,
that's one of my graphic design class. I was like, why is he texting me? Okay, yeah. So, what's your next thing?
Okay, so...
She's not depressed. That's
I'm
number one. Number two...
My parents are awesome.
She has awesome parents.
Number three, Priest is a douche.
Number three, Priest is a douche.
Number four...
Wait.
This is Ebony Man 2K, the content creator of Everybody Loves Soncerae. I would like to thank you for sharing your time with me today. Shout out to all the chat room members and listeners that may be listening in your car, at home watching this on television, working out, or just taking a break at work. Your time is greatly appreciated. I also welcome all visitors. I'm always in the chat room providing commentary on videos, so when you come in, subscribe, and then introduce yourself in the chat. This presentation is supported by a Cash App promotion. If you do not have Cash App, click on my referral link in the description box and comment section. Copy and paste the referral code after the Cash App download, and you and I will receive $5 after you start making transactions. If you already have Cash App, feel free to make a donation at $EBMN2K. That's $EBMN2K. If you have other methods of payment like Venmo and PayPal, send me an email at ebonyman2k@gmail.com and I will forward you my information. Again, I appreciate your time. This is Everyday 2K, and I'm out. Check out my other videos by clicking on the Everybody Loves Soncerae blue logo below. It will take you to the home page that lists my most popular videos and newly uploaded videos. Thanks. Everyday 2K.